sit up on my blanket, but take a seat where you're comfortable. Last time I brought coffee with me, I poured it all over the studio floor. So Sukhasana, if it feels nice, giving your body as much space as you would like, or you might honor the knees, lengthen the legs, press through the heels, wherever you find your seat. Feel those sits bones, those bony protrusions in each butt cheek really melting down into the mat. You might relax your glutes and your thighs. You might even soften the low belly, the tailbone. You might even relax the shoulders, let them melt down. Feel the weight of your body pressing down through those sits bones. And an invitation here to get curious, maybe close the eyes. Really invite the mind to become aware of the physical sensation of the weight of your body pressing down into the earth. And can you soften and relax into it? Don't worry about your posture. Let it melt as long as it doesn't cause pain or discomfort. Let the body grow heavy. And breathe here. As you do this, I'm going to read a poem by Danaé Kelley. Today's practice is all about the root chakra. And the root chakra is that space by those sits bones, right? At the tip of the tailbone, this area pressing down into the earth. This is the I am chakra. Your I want to say mula bandha because it is mula bandha. So your mula bandha is your root support. That is your root chakra. And there is a beautiful poem called Foundation Stones by Danaé Kelley, and it goes like this. Here is my past, what I've been proud of and what I've pushed away. Today I see how each piece was needed, not a single step wasted on the way. Like a stone wall, every rock resting on what came before, no stone can be suspended in midair. Foundation laid by every act and omission, each decision, even those the mind would label big mistake. The things I thought were sins, these are as necessary as successes, each one resting on the surface of the last, stone upon stone, the fit particular, complete. The rough, uneven face of these rocks makes surprising, satisfying patterns in the sunlight. As you breathe down into the foundation, the root chakra of your body, feeling the body nestle down for a few more breaths, we own that the root chakra isn't the perfect I am. We don't unlock the root chakra by unlocking our perfect selves. We find movement, we find motion, we find flow in our root chakra. We connect with the root chakra when we honor the foundation of what created the I am. So maybe that's your intention for practice this morning, just embracing the I am. I am messy. I am imperfect. I am growing. I am learning. I am flourishing. I'm cracked, but I am whole and I am whole, right? Take a moment with whatever bubbles up here in your root chakra. Own the light and the dark of the I am. Know that it's worthy. I am worthy. I matter. I am wanted. I am needed in this world. Take a few more moments just like this. I know we're taking time, but time is a beautiful resource for healing. We just touch base with the root chakra, the imperfect, beautiful root chakra. And then when you're ready, when the body feels ready, pressing down into that root chakra, lift long and tall through the spine, press length even through the neck, through the top of the head. You might relax the shoulders down as you find this length. Noticing how pressing down through that I am, pressing down through the foundation helps you lift tall through the whole rest of the body. Decompressing nerves, stretching tight muscles. Beautiful. As we move through the rest of our practice, we're really going to focus our attention on this root chakra. And so from this seat, we might do some seated cat-cow by curling the tailbone up towards the forehead, feeling the low back round here. And then drop that forehead down towards the tailbone, Marjaryasana. So a seated cat, this nice round C-shaped spine, relaxing through the back of the neck. And then on an inhale, we're going to find cow by lifting tall through the spine. And then we keep lifting through the chin. You might even brace the palms on the knees and use that to pull the belly forward. And it's like that tailbone now wants to reach up towards the back of the head as that belly rolls forward. We're not afraid of this space here. And then lifting through the chin, we don't want to let the back of the head collapse towards those shoulders. So cow is very active, Bidalasana. And then an exhale, curls the spine into cat. Find yourself there. An inhale lifts tall to cow. Let it be big and full with each breath into your body. Beautiful. On an exhale, find yourself with a neutral spine. From here, we're going to take palms at the heart center in Anjali Mudra and keeping the tailbone firmly planted in the earth, we're going to use it as a pivot point and simply move from the heart center. We're going to draw circles on the ceiling. And the circles might start out small. Ooh, excuse me. But what we're focusing on is feeling that tailbone or those sits bones really pressing down into the earth. And as you draw these circles, can you feel kind of that massage, that pressure through your root chakra? The awareness of the body alone helps release, relax, build strength and awareness. And all we have to do is just say, just get curious. Send the mind down into that root chakra. We're going to roll to a slow stop and then switch directions. I'm going to encourage you to explore slowing this down. How slow can you draw these big circles? Feel that root chakra roll against the earth, the foundation of your body. I am whole. I am messy. I am worthy. I am needed. Take a moment here and pause as the heart melts forward. Now take a second here. You might tuck the tummy into the space between the legs. You might even widen those knees to create a little more space. But we're going to lengthen through the spine. Keep it nice and long. The neck remains in alignment as the heart and belly surrender towards the earth. As you melt forward, can you soften your root chakra? Can you relax any muscles here at the base, the foundation of the body that are holding any tension? Can you soften? Whatever makes sense to you now. You might soften through the low back, up into the shoulders, and then you might even soften through the back of the neck. Let the forehead or the top of the head hang heavy towards the earth. Breathe space into the belly and the heart here. Plenty of room for the breath. That's what we want. From here, you might keep that left hand planted and then reach that right hand towards the sky if it feels good. Let the gaze follow those outstretched fingertips. And if this doesn't feel good on the rotator cuff here, you might simply place the hand at the armpit, reach through the elbow, right? So you decide. And then an exhale of your choice, lower down. Inhale, switch sides, open up. Take your time, in this fold. Exhale, lower, beautiful. We're going to slowly curl up vertebra by vertebra. The head is the last to rise. Let it float atop those shoulders as the shoulders melt. Wonderful. From here, we're going to spend some time on our back. I know, but it's going to be good. So we're going to roll off the blanket. But if you have a blanket nearby, grab that, right? A blanket, a pillow, a block. Roll it up, right? Just like this. We want a nice firm roll. We're going to use that to get in touch with our root chakra. So from here, bend the knees, plant the pads of the feet. You might roll, rock yourself down, do what feels good. Feel the length of the spine melt into the earth. Let the shoulders relax, upper arms relax, and then bring that relaxation down into the pelvis, the hips, the pads of the feet. From here, we'll press down through the pads of the feet. Feel the tailbone rock up towards the forehead. This is a lot like cat, right? But just with the pelvis. So the low lumbar spine lengthens here and rounds as we curl that tailbone up towards the forehead. And then on an inhale, we're going to reverse this movement with the pelvis. Press the tailbone down into the earth. That belly button lifts towards the sky. Deep breaths in with each inhale. Right? A pelvic cow or Bilasana. And then when it feels good, exhale, press through the feet, curl the tailbone up. Hold this for a moment. As you do, notice what's engaged. The quads, right? The tops of the legs here. You might notice that your glutes are engaged. You might notice that the low belly is engaged here. You might even notice how hard you're pressing through the pads of the feet, right? There's a lot of weight in the pads of the feet right now. Just become aware. There is value, deep value in awareness. Now inhale when you're ready, press that tailbone down, belly button rises. Take a moment to notice now what's engaged. As the belly button lifts, as that low back arches here, there's no longer any weight or not much through the pads of the feet, right? You might even lift them up off the earth and retain that low back arch. You might notice now that the weight is up in the shoulders or even in the back of the head. Beautiful. Continue to breathe deep into the belly for as long as it makes sense. And then let's move with the breath. Exhale, curl the tailbone in, press through the feet. Inhale, press the tailbone down. Feel the pressure move to the upper body. So moving with the breath here, just creating awareness in your physical body. You might even send your awareness down into the base of the tailbone there. Feel how pressure, effort moves, shifts with the breath and the body. A few more breaths just like this. It feels so simple, but this is powerful for strengthening the low back and supporting muscles and the low belly. Soften into a neutral pelvis. Let it all go when you're ready. This time we're going to do some bridge lifts, but we're going to add Kegels with them. So practicing the Kegel first if it feels good for you. If it doesn't feel good for you to do a Kegel, skip this part. But Kegels looks like this. So there's a layer of muscle, right? Deep at the pelvic floor. And on an inhale, I want you to feel that pelvic floor soften and press out just gently. As you exhale, clench and engage the pelvic floor and hold the pelvic floor as you breathe, right? So you're holding that Kegel even as you breathe in and out, and then release it, relax. You might notice as you hold a Kegel, you also clench your butt cheeks. That's all right. On an inhale, feel the pelvic floor relax. Exhale, engage and hold. Breathe. 3 or so breaths, just holding that Kegel. And then each time the pelvic floor begins to soften, because it probably will, just re-engage and breathe. When you're ready, relax all the way. Now let's practice a bridge lift. So for bridge lifts, I prep the upper body by sliding my shoulder blades together, really puffing my chest out and then planting my upper arms in the earth. And then I walk my heels towards my glutes so that I can really plant through the pads of my feet. From here, a deep breath into the belly. Exhale, drive through the feet. Feel the pelvis begin to lift from the earth. Maybe it lifts, maybe it doesn't. But you'll notice as you lift, you clench those glutes and you drive through the pads of the feet. Hold this for a breath or two if it feels good. And then on an exhale, slowly lower down. Let's add the Kegel. So first we Kegel and then we lift into the bridge. And it looks like this. A deep breath in when you're ready. Feel the pelvic floor relax. Exhale, Kegel, and then begin to drive through the feet slowly, ever so slowly. Just as high as the body wants to go. And we'll hold this for 3 or so breaths, knowing you can touch down, soften anytime the body says, please. We listen and we love it. Another breath or so, really holding that Kegel, and then soften the glutes down and then relax the pelvic floor. Beautiful. So from here, you might let the knees fall open to really relax that pelvic floor. For some folks, this doesn't feel good. Decide what you'd like in your body. And then meet me back in that bridge lift. We're going to add a layer of awareness here. So oftentimes, when we start with that Kegel and then we begin to drive into the bridge lift, we lose that Kegel halfway and we have to like re-clench it at the top. So as you lift, right? As you're holding that Kegel, I want you to really keep your awareness down in that root chakra, down in that pelvic floor, and notice when that Kegel wants to soften, and pause your bridge there, even if it's just a little lifted, right? Maybe you're all the way up top. Maybe you're down here. There's no merit. There's no medals. This is just exploration of self. So we're going to let it be messy. Let me show you what I mean. A deep inhale into the body. Exhale, Kegel, and then hold that Kegel. We drive slowly into the bridge lift. Really aware of those Kegel muscles. And then there comes a point where my Kegel wants to soften a little bit. And for me, that's right about here. And so I'm going to hold just before that. Keep my Kegel nice and strong, that pelvic floor engaged, driving through the pads of the feet. And then nice and slow, lower down, relax. You might soften the knees open to really relax that pelvic floor. The engagement of the pelvic floor is important, but the relaxation is every bit as important, right? And so oftentimes our pelvic floors are too tight. So we balance, right? The light and the dark. This is life. Twice more. On an inhale, fill the body. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor. Begin to lift slowly into your bridge. Become aware. Pause wherever the body, wherever that pelvic floor is the strongest. Whoo. Maybe that changes each time in your lift. Maybe you're like, I don't really know what you're talking about. Boo. Enjoy the pelvic floor engagement. Enjoy the bridge lift. Be in your body. Feel that root chakra, the mind's awareness deep in this place. And then when you're ready, soften those glutes down. Release that Kegel. Beautiful. One last time. Let everything go. Let it relax. Sometimes a gentle bearing down can also soften the pelvic floor if we don't enjoy opening the knees. When you're ready, a deep breath in. Last one. Exhale, engage that pelvic floor. Begin to lift when you're ready. Slowly, ever so slowly. Ooh, mine says here. Mine says here. Hold for a breath or two longer. And then an invitation to engage that Kegel once more and lift as high as that pelvis, as that bridge wants to go. Pressing, driving through the pads of the feet, and then lower on down. Soften, release. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. From here, we're going to keep that pad of that right foot planted. We're going to extend the left foot skyward, pressing through the heel. Let's do some pointing and flexing because this is going to nerve floss that sciatic nerve. So pointing and flexing, we're really exaggerating it. So when you press through the heel, you're really inviting those toes towards the heart so that you can lengthen through the back of the leg here. And then when you point the toe, you might imagine sucking that heel back towards the body. Back and forth. And then maybe some ankle circles because they feel delicious one way. And then the other. Beautiful. And then we're going to paint. We're going to love on the low body here. So from here, press through the heel, flex the toes towards the heart. We're going to slowly lower the heel towards the earth. Ooh, lengthen through the back of the leg. And then maybe that heel touches the earth and that feels good, stretching through that front hip flexor. Enjoy. Take a moment here. And then point the toe. Ooh, and with the toe pointed, we're going to lift it back up. So flex and lower. Point and lift. And you can really support the work of this hip flexor, of the low belly, by pressing through the pad of this right foot. Take your time. Two or three more at your own pace. And then plant that left foot. Let's switch sides. Point and flex. Big. Ooh, I got a little calf cramp there. I'm dehydrated. Big, exaggerated pointing and flexing. Ankle circles. Both directions. And then press through the heel, flex the toes towards the heart. A nice, slow, controlled lower. Really pressing through that heel, lengthening through the back body, and then invite length into this front hip flexor. Take a moment and then begin to paint. So point the toe, lift, flex, and lower. Nice and slow, we move the body. And you can plant the hands at your sides, to support the body. So you decide what feels good to you. 2 or 3 more times, just like this. And then let's do some hip circles. So planting that right foot, point the left towards the sky. We're going to start little circles on the ceiling. And we really want our low body, our tailbone, planted firmly in the earth. So it's just our hip socket that's moving here. I'm going to draw these circles bigger and bigger. You might keep the knee bent and draw the circles with the knee instead of the toes. I'm just going to kick that countertop if I do that. So big circles, just as big as that hip socket says yes to. And then when you're ready, switch directions, big circles. We'll pause here with that toe pointed skyward, and then you might find a big twist here. So you can invite this left foot to rock all the way over towards the right as you reach that left arm back behind you. So this pointed toe goes one way, the arm goes back the other, and you can either remain looking skyward, or you can look back towards the fingertips of that left hand. So take a moment here, and then with this pointed left leg, right, the toes, you might even find some circles over here. Like you can explore this twist. What does it feel like to adjust this leg? How does it move sensation through the low back, through the hips, maybe in the shoulders, right? Does it feel good? Does it feel yucky? Like there is no right or wrong. You're here just to witness. It can be a struggle and be a beautiful opportunity to learn about yourself. When you're ready, roll back upright. Let's switch sides. So pointing the toes of that right foot, find your circles. You might start small and let them grow. You might head into big circle town like you do you, boo. Ooh, let it be messy. Take your time, feel the movement in that hip socket. When I press length through my toes, as I draw these circles, I can really feel my hip socket. You might even place your hand there to get a different awareness, right? Switch directions when you're ready We've been at this a little while. And then from here, those toes pointed skyward, you might lower that right leg on over towards the left, and then reach that right arm back behind you. Opportunity to gaze at it for a moment. Big old twist. And then again, explore this extended leg, right? What feels nice? Maybe some circles. Maybe just stillness and softness, like only you know what this moment needs for you. We're just learning to explore the tools to meet ourselves there, right? And everybody needs a slightly different combination of tools, and that's why we explore a lot of stuff together. When you're ready, roll back onto the back body. Grab your blanket, towel, pillow, whatever you're using here. You could use a block, you could use a foam roller. I'm not here to tell you what to do. We're gonna place this between the knees, and again, planting the pads of the feet. So we're gonna use this towel, this cushion, to press, get some isometric movement. So when you're ready, inhale into the belly. I'll explain this better. Exhale, we're gonna squeeze our inner thighs together, really holding that blanket or that cushion tight, and just breathe and hold that. You might feel the outer legs engage. You might feel those inner thighs engage. Notice where or what you feel here. Maybe it's just heat rising in the body or an ache. And then soften, relax. Okay, we're gonna add some pelvic floor engagement to that if you would like. So an inhale deep into the belly. First, we engage that pelvic floor on the exhale. And then once that pelvic floor is engaged, squeeze those inner thighs together. Hold. Can you breathe gently into the body while keeping this engagement? And it's okay if the answer is no, and we're going and re-engaging the thighs or re-engaging the pelvic floor. That is all right, boo. And I am with you. When you're ready, soften, release, relax. So in this place, if we really want to soften the pelvic floor, we're going to rock the tailbone down towards the earth and lift that belly button, just like we did earlier. What this does is it releases some of the muscles of the pelvic floor. So this is another way to soften those muscles after they've been deeply engaged. All right, find a neutral pelvis once more against your mat. Inhale deep into the belly. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor if that feels good. And then squeeze those inner thighs when you're ready. Hold that engagement. We're gonna take 5 breaths here. If the body shakes as you do this, beautiful. That's just excess trapped energy leaving your body. We worry that it's a sign of weakness. It's not. This is just muscle fibers firing a little erratically. Over time, they learn to fire in unison. Soften the effort when you're ready. Let it melt. You might press the tailbone down, lift the belly button if you'd like. Take a moment to relax and release, knowing both the showing up and the letting go. Hold. Powerful, equal value. One last time, just like this. Deep inhale into the belly. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor, and then squeeze the thighs. Hold 5 breaths. Can you relax the jaw and the shoulders while you do this? Can we keep the engagement only in that root chakra? It is hard. Let it be hard. Let it be weird. An exploration. On an exhale of your choice, soften, release, let go. We can remove this blanket, and then from here, we're going to do something a little different. So instead of squeezing the thighs together, one at a time, we're going to slowly drop them open. But we're going to do this while we hold our pelvic floor engagement. Now again, as always, that pelvic floor is optional. Relax at any time you like. We can over-engage a pelvic floor. So on an inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, engage that pelvic floor into a Kegel. And then as you hold it, you're going to slowly lower that right knee down towards the earth, opening the thigh. Now this left knee and that left pad of your foot remains skyward. Don't let it fall open or fall inward. As you lower that right knee down, can you hold that pelvic floor engagement? And then slowly lift it back up. Hold that pelvic floor engagement. When you're at the top, relax. You might even dip that tailbone down to soften. Find your neutral spine. Let's try the other side. Inhale, fill the belly deep. Exhale, engage that pelvic floor. Begin to slowly lower that left knee open towards the side. Slowly, ever so slowly, because we want to keep that Kegel powerful as the body says yes to. And then we hold, and then slowly close. At the top, relax your Kegel, soften, find ease. Let's do this one more time on either side. A deep breath in, exhale, engage, and slowly open that right knee. Notice if you're clenching your teeth, pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth. And then relax at the top. Take a breath in, really soften the pelvic floor and the hips. And then when you're ready, filling the body, exhale, engage the pelvic floor, lowering that opposite knee so slow. And keeping the awareness down in that root chakra, in that pelvic floor, really just noticing as that Kegel changes, right? Sometimes it softens and we want to re-engage. Sometimes it twitches. It's just stuff to become aware of. At the top, release all effort. Beautiful. From here, we're going to rock up or roll up. You decide. You might even roll over onto your side body and press up, but I'm going to encourage you to find playfulness. So I'm going to grab the back of my knees. You might just rock and roll up into a bridge if that feels nice. You might take some time, right? Be playful. Enjoy the journey and the messiness of what is. Play is messy, right? Play isn't often neat. It's not organized. It's not planned to a T. From here, we're going to explore some boat pose. So you might hang out just like this. This is a beautiful boat. We lift tall through the spine as we press down through our root chakra. You might lean it a little further back, keeping this length through the spine, engaging the front body. And then if it feels nice, you might lift one foot. You might lift both feet. You might grab the knees, right? You might not. Maybe you extend one leg or both legs. You can extend your arms overhead and no way, baby. Be where your body wants to be. Let's take 3 breaths there, right? Don't clench the teeth. And then rock upright when you're ready. Plant the pads of the feet. I'm going to press my hands to the top of the knees. Lift the spine tall. So I'm making space for my belly and my heart here. Breathe. This is our resting posture. Length through the spine. Down through that root chakra. And then when you're ready, we're going to sink back into our version of boat. Maybe you try something different, right? Breathe. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then on an inhale, rock forward, rise tall, rest for a breath or 2. We're going to do this twice more because we can. Keeping that length through the spine, find your way into your version of boat. Be there. 5 or so breaths. Lengthen through the spine. Right? Let it be messy. And then on your next breath in, lengthen tall. 1 more boat if it feels good. Only if the body says yes. If the body says no, then your yoga is to rest, right? When you're ready, find yourself there. Life's a musical, y'all. Be where you want to be. You can even touch the toes down. On your next breath in, lift tall, press that heart and belly forward. And then let's find ourselves in Baddha Konasana, pads of the feet together, knees out wide. You might grab that blanket beneath your seat once more. I'm going to face you so you can see me a little better. We're going to let those knees hang heavy, pressing through those sits bones. And I really want to feel my sits bones down in the earth. So if you've got some beautiful thickness in your trunk, you might pull it out so you can really feel that root chakra, those sits bones, that tailbone pressing down, and then lift tall through the spine. Beautiful. You might walk the hands towards the ankles, the feet, the toes. And then we'll take this into a fold, but let's do this a little differently with deep awareness. So as you melt the belly and the heart forward, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades back. So we're opening through the heart center. And then as you squeeze those shoulder blades back, you might bend the elbows, press them down into those thighs. So we're opening through the heart, melting it forward. And then go at your own pace. Just another big old hip opener here. Then we're gonna hang out in some tabletop and frog. Another moment or 2, knowing that time lets the body melt. You might lengthen your arms out away from the body. You might soften the top of your head towards the earth. Take a moment to surrender any last bits that want to surrender here. And then on your next breath in, begin to curl up as the head hangs heavy. Slowly rising up. Beautiful. We'll find a seated twist here. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand plants behind you. On an inhale, lift tall through the spine. Exhale, anchor through both hands and use the hands to twist the heart center towards the wall behind you. So as the head turns, the heart wants to turn in the same direction. It's like the heart has eyes. It wants to look back behind you too. And then breathe deep into the body. Notice if a deep inhale or exhale changes the sensations you feel in the belly, the chest, the shoulders. On an inhale, unravel, release, take a moment. And then on your next breath in, switch sides, sweep the arms up. Exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, twist from your anchor points. And then breathe. Notice what's pressing down. Those sits bones, the palm of your hand or your fingertips. And then as those things press down, root down into the earth, lift tall through the top of the body, through the head, the neck. And then on your next deep breath in, unravel. Let's find ourselves on our hands and knees. And you might just rock forward like this. I'm going to meet you so you can see me here. We'll start some traditional cat-cow, and then we're going to kind of get funky with it into an optional frog. So for traditional cat-cow, we're going to curl that tailbone in, right? That root chakra curls in. And then the forehead is going to meet it. So it's like there's a string attached from the forehead to the tailbone, and it's just shortening. And you're going to press length through your arms, right? So that you can press that forehead even closer to that tailbone as the tailbone curls in towards the forehead. Marjariyasana. On an inhale, drop the belly low. The tailbone curls up towards the sky, and then lift that chin skyward as well. Opening the body from the chin, stretching open all the way to the tailbone. Breathe deep into the body here. Ooh, this is where I always want to cough, especially when I have a cold. So moving with your breath, if you'd like, exhale, curl to cat, press the mat away. Inhale to cow, lift that chin, belly hangs low. Back and forth. Woo! And then an option here to get into the hips and really love on the tailbone. So from a neutral tabletop, you might walk your knees out just 2 or 3 inches, not a lot. We're going to take it step by step. As the knees widen, so do the tops of the feet and the shins. And then again, let's find our cat-cow, but with a little wider hips. Noticing how that feels in your body. Another breath or 2 just like this. And then option from a neutral tabletop to widen it out another inch or 2 or 3. And as you get out a little wider, maybe it still feels good to plant the tops of the feet, but you might find that you want to plant the inner ankles a little bit, right? You get little froggy feet. So hips are a little more open. And then again, cat-cow. And it can feel good to have the arms lengthened here. For a lot of folks, it can feel even better to come down onto the forearms. It's a little easier on the hip joints. It's not easier as far as difficulty, so don't fool yourself. But we're cat-cowing our way into frog at our own freaking pace, back and forth. And you might hang out just like this and cat-cow. You might pause in a neutral frog and then soften those knees a little wider. You can take a bolster beneath the pelvis or the belly just to bring a little ease if that feels good. But wherever you find yourself, again, we're exploring this cat-cow movement. Only as much as feels good in your personal body, right? A few more breaths just like this. Lifting through that chin on each inhale. Curling the forehead towards the tailbone on each exhale. And then if you would like, soften into your frog. Right? Be where you want to be. Take a moment to be messy. And then the easiest way to get out of frog for me, because sometimes you can get stuck like this, is to bring the big toes in and then walk the hands underneath the shoulders, and then press up and back into a wide-legged child's pose. So you can take that on your forearms or with arms outstretched. You can again add that blanket or bolster beneath you. But take some time wherever the body says yes. And then an option here to explore a child's twist. So planting through this left arm, you might take that right hand, slide it through palm up, and you can hang out just like this with your head or that right ear nestled towards the earth, or for you it might be the left ear. Maybe you kickstand this upper arm out towards the side just to help roll that heart center a little further open towards the sky. Maybe you reach for it. You can also do this in tabletop if it doesn't feel good to sit the hips back, right? Do this in tabletop. So we love on our body where it needs, where it's at. And then let's switch sides from wherever we are. Find this on the opposite side. Maybe you notice one side feels a little different than the other. Maybe you don't. It's simply information. We acknowledge it as neutral. Information helps us make decisions. Decisions are imperfect, like we are. The beautiful thing is we are wise, imperfect beings. We can trust the ebb and flow of our growth, the light and the dark, those things we perceive as mistakes, those things we perceive as successes, make us who we are, our precious, fallible, imperfect, messy, beautiful journey. When you're ready, unravel wherever you are. We're slowly going to roll onto the belly. Extend it out. Ooh, extend it out. So, option to do either Sphinx lifts or Cobra lifts here, just to further open the front body, which is a delicious thing to do after all of our folding. So you might plant through the tops of the feet. If the low back talks to you, widen the thighs out and then plant through the feet. From here, you might do elbows underneath the shoulders for Sphinx pose. You might bring the palms underneath for Cobra. From wherever you are, without pressing through the arms, on an inhale, lift through the head and the heart. You might even hover those arms or the hands just to ensure you're not using them. We're using purely the strength of our back body to lift our head and our heart skyward. You can even squeeze those shoulder blades back to open up that heart center. Breathe for another breath or two. You are strong. And then exhale, soften and lower. Let it all go, right? The ebb and the flow, the show up and the engagement and the release. All right, from here, another breath in lifts through the head and the heart. This time, if you'd like, squeezing those shoulder blades back, you might begin to press through the arms, lengthen towards the sky. And there are a few ways to enjoy Cobra or Sphinx. We soften through the pelvis. We let the pelvis drop low, but we're not just crunching the low back. We're lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the top of the head, lengthening through the heart, so that as we find length, we're not crushing our lumbar spine. On an exhale, keep the elbows tucked, lower on down to Cobra or Sphinx. So inhale, rise up when you're ready. Exhale, lower. Move with your breath if it feels good. Inhale, lift. Squeezing those shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. Once or twice more at a flow that feels good for you. Beautiful.
An option to find bow or half bow here if it feels nice. So to do this, I curl my toes against the mat, press through the heels, right? Maybe you give a little bounce for a moment, and then bring that left or right heel towards the glutes. Now, for one-sided bow, I'm simply gonna lift up on my forearm, reach back towards my inner ankle, inner foot, right? And this is a wonderful way to then lower that heart center down. And then we press through the top of the foot to lift the heart into cobra, right? Or bow. But it's the same lift through the head and the heart, except for now we have a foot, the top of the foot pressing back to further open up the heart. Maybe you do both sides at the same time. My shoulders say no. If you're one-sided like I am, go ahead and switch sides. So bring that heel back, twist, slowly reach. And then once you have it, inhale, find cobra with the top of your body, and then press the top of that foot back so that you further lift through the heart. See, you can find your cobra here. Or your sphinx. And then release when you're ready. Let's take our shavasana. Let's just do 2 minutes on the belly. Let's hang out in crocodile pose if that's delicious, or roll over onto your side or your back. Crocodile pose, we stack the forearms above the head. You might rest the forehead on them. You might stack fists and rest the forehead. But our goal here is to let the body fully soften and relax. Let the cheeks on your face and your tongue sag gently towards the earth. Let your shoulders and your upper arms grow heavy and melt, along with the heart. On your next breath in, fill the belly deep, feel the body rise. And then as you exhale, soften and melt the belly, the hips, the low back. Relaxing through the thighs, the knees. Your calves melt. That meltiness trickles down to the ankles. The bottoms and the tops of your feet both soften as the toes relax. Melt and breathe here. You might find your I am chakra. I am worthy. I am whole. I am transformation. I am powerful. I am one with all that is. I am love. I am messy. I am beautiful. I am intricate. I am. Stay here for as long as you like, knowing this really is such a powerful place. Don't be in a rush to leave it just because the world, society says go, 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 rush to the next best thing. Here we practice unraveling from that. As you awaken your body, practice not rushing. You might feel the texture beneath your fingertips. You might curl your toes against the earth and feel them stretch. Take your time to shift and twist and stretch. Maybe there's some movement that your body is asking for that you didn't explore in practice yet. Take time, offer yourself that. And then when you're ready, if you would like, meet me in a seat. You might bring your palms into Anjali Mudra one last time. As you take a deep breath in, you might feel your heart rise to meet your thumbs. As you exhale, maybe you take a gentle bow in the head if it feels right. I am. You are. We are. Take a moment and soak in the fruit of your practice. Know that you did this for you, that no one can show up for you in these spaces. No one can transform you like you can. And here you are, powerful AF, man. Thank you for practicing with me. Remember that the light in the dark in me sees the light in the dark in you, and it is beautiful. It's our journey. It's the complex parts that make us who we are, and I love every bit of it.